Welcome back to the Nullified Take channel, where we've got the TNT takes for you on Australian Survivor episode 5 for Heroes vs Villains. That's right, we're back to talk about our top 5 takeaways for this episode. Now, if you do like the content, be sure to hit the notification bell, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you can be informed every time that I drop anything in regards to this season. Now, takeaway number 1, let's get straight into it. Sam is completely behind the 8 ball here this season. He is relying on Sean as a solid number, but Sean has decided to trade his heroes buff in for a villain's tribe, and ironically enough, this episode required a spy to go over to the villain's tribe, but there is already a spy at camp in the heroes tribe, and that is Sean. He knows that the first time he played, he was way too honest and upfront. He was the good old boy, and he got outsmarted by the likes of David Gannett and Luke Toki in that season, and he has now seen what the dark side can do and have decided he's going to go down that direction as well. But throughout this whole episode, you can see Sam wanting to work with his alliance members, getting that reward, being the person who picks up the scroll. He can decide who gets what when it comes to the food situation, and he puts himself last there while he's giving everybody else the better food items, which, you know, strategy wise, let's talk about that for a second. It is the right move to give yourself the worst reward when you're going to have to make those decisions. As tough as it is, I think he did the right thing. It is definitely the right thing, but I think once again, this specific episode and having Sean comment on it saying that Sam is playing the game like he did the first time spells danger for Sam's game. I think at some point he's going to be loyal to a fault, and he's going to be taken out in the crossfire, going out in a not so glorious way this season. Takeaway number 2. Hayley becomes a part of Sean's master plan. Now, last week was all about Shani. She was by far the person who played the best game, and definitely the person that I thought up until that point probably is getting a bit of a winner's edit. This week, they've decided to flip it around. The heroes have gone to tribal council twice now, and Sean is becoming the big narrator of that side of things and seems to be across everything. Like, he's really observant. He sees Hayley looking for an idol. He makes sure that the boys know that she's looking for an idol and potentially has this idol. Therefore, you know, nobody's going to question that he potentially could have it, and he is kind of directing where the vote should go. Even at the point where they're trying to take Hayley out, Sam is frothing at the mouth to go and make this big move with David and Matt. You know, he does come in there with Flick, has a conversation with Flick about Hayley potentially being a great shield for both of them, which is correct. I think I had someone in the previous video comment that Sean needs Hayley in the game, and I do agree with this. If Sean does not go to the merge with a big threat in front of him like Hayley, he could very well be the merge boot again like he was last season. Even though he's playing this great game, just by his stature alone, he stands, you know, he's about a head or two taller than everybody else. So they're definitely going to always look at Sean as a potential threat and someone they need to vote out. So he does need to drag her further in the game. And he has come to the conclusion himself that that is the way forward, and he had a conversation with Hayley. Hayley coming to him with her tail between her legs, realizing that he's got a lot of power in the game and that she doesn't have it. At this point, she is really just trying to find a life raft, and if Sean gives her that life raft, she will grab onto it. But I will say, Hayley is dangerous. You give her more time in the game, and at some point, Sean may come to regret this, even though I do think he is making the right decision at this point in the game. Takeaway number 3, Geordie is attempting to build bridges and have his bread buttered on both sides by talking to George, the king here, the Joker and the king, potentially working together. He is saying, listen, let's make sure that you keep my name out of that side of the alliance, and I'll keep your name out of this side of the alliance or the tribe that we've got. That way we make sure that we don't go home. And I think that him showing this olive branch to George here is great. He is playing that middle ground 100% perfect. He does say that he can see a potential downfall for Simon. We continue to see Simon be the big alpha guy at camp, telling people what to do, getting annoyed with George when he doesn't help out. And Geordie says that sometimes maybe his ego can get him in trouble, and he doesn't want to be attached to Simon only in case Simon does go down. He may go down in flames himself. So I do think this is a great move by Geordie, trying to play both sides. It is a dangerous position to be in, because obviously, because of both those sides figure out that George and Geordie are trying to play this middle game, they could be in trouble moving forward. But I am loving what I'm seeing from the Joker here this season. He's once again proving why he's definitely a very dangerous player in this game, and he's thinking ahead in this game. He's also bonding here with Fraser, and it looks like Fraser's a solid number for him moving forward in this game. It was a great scene seeing them just, having fun and joking around on the beach while everybody else, I assume, was still sleeping in the morning. Takeaway number 4, the villains win another one, and they're starting to build momentum. So I kind of spoke about this in the previous takeaways. It's so difficult when you give a team potentially a win when they've been losing, because you can give them belief in themselves, and they did extremely well here in this challenge, winning another immunity. And George, throughout this whole episode, is starting to become a bit of a challenge beast for them, doing really well in the reward, beating Haley in the reward, which is something that he really wanted to do. And then also in this one, getting really stuck in at the physical part, shouting and sort of motivating his team to keep moving. Geordie even asked him to continue to shout so that they can keep moving those big, heavy carts full of kindle and sticks that they needed to light a fire with, and then basically burn through a rope to win this challenge. So it's basically the fire-making challenge that we always see on Survivor on steroids, and it was a very impressive performance here by the villains, sending the heroes back to Tribal Council. So you have to ask, can the villains win 3 in a row? Can they continue to win these clutch ones? And I think that there's a certain person who's a new villains member who's really going to want them to win this next one. Takeaway number 5, the big twist at Tribal Council sends someone to the villains tribe as a spy. And I have to say, normally when we get these non-elimination episodes, which is a staple for Australian Survivor, I'm never a fan of it. I like people getting voted out at the end of the episode. I like there being a result. It's one of the reasons I struggle to watch football, because I don't like draws, I want there to be a winner and a loser at the end of each episode. But in this specific episode, I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was a pretty cool twist to see someone go over to the villains tribe, potentially to be a spy, gain some information, and then come back with that information. But obviously, it would have been a very high-risk situation for anybody to put themselves into. And because the Zen Hen is not in the heroes tribe like he should have been, or maybe he would have been in the villains tribe this season, we don't have anybody that has got the guts to go over there and do it for the returnees. There is a newbie, however, that put her hand up to go over and go to the other tribe, do this COVID mission, and then come back because she is loyal according to herself, and it does look like the tribe believes she's loyal as well, and that was Paige. She was really, really interested in making this move, and to me, I've got to say, as a new player, being this risky could definitely backfire on you. I don't know why she thought it was a good plan. Like Sam said very, logically, that if she did go there, people noticed that she was in with that group and they all got along, so they would have questioned why she was the person voted out. And maybe it was, she could have said, it's my social game that got me voted out, but then again, that could get her voted out immediately again in the villains tribe. So I don't know why she was so keen on going onto the other side there. I thought it was a very, very risky move, and ultimately this specific twist saved Benjamin in the game, who for some other reason is untrustworthy in this tribe. Nobody seems to want to work with him. He does create an fake idol and let everybody know about it, because he thinks, well, if I create this fake idol and everybody's a part of the plan, it's something that can bond us, and I'm assuming that we're going to use it to try and fool someone on the villains tribe. But Nina kind of points out, well, how does he know that the idol might have something green in it? Like, does that mean he's already got something? So the problem for anybody that is new to Survivor and who wants to go and play Survivor one day, don't create unnecessary drama around yourself. You want to be as low-key as possible, if you can be, to continue to lower that threat level on yourself. And he was standing out like a sore thumb here with experienced and returnee players that were going to use anything they can to put a target on someone else's back so they don't have to go home. And that's another thing. We've got another newbie going out here. Again, just proving that the newbies cannot hang with these returnee players. I don't have much hope that many of them are going to make the merge at this point. The way the votes are going, even if they see the axe swinging like Shani did here in this episode with them targeting Jerry, there was really nothing she could do to stop it. And she just didn't have the skill set to bring the votes together to turn it on someone else. And I think in a certain way, some of these new players may even be fearful to try and go up against these experienced players that have played played before, because they might think that they have some sort of sixth sense because they've played the game before, and they wouldn't want to go up against them in case they get taken out or trying to do something, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's my 5 takeaways here for this episode. I enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow night to give more of my thoughts on episode 6. So be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, all that great stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.